Hello and welcome to LOV Language Center French Learning Series for African English speakers, especially Nigerians. As you can tell from my accent, I'm Nigerian, hence you'll be learning the French language highly influenced by the Nigerian accent. But not to worry, you're in good hands. When you're done with this beginner series, you should try to engage and interact with native speakers. You will learn the rudiments here, but sounding like a native speaker, that will be up to you. At the end of the lesson, you'll be given simple tasks to do. If properly done, you won't have problems understanding the next lesson. If you need your tasks graded, you can send the scanned copies to lovlanguagecenter@gmail.com and you'll be corrected for a fee. Otherwise, this lesson is free. Now let's begin. LOV Language Center French Beginners Lesson for African English Speakers. Lesson 1, Part B, Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you will learn the basic rules of pronunciation. Do you remember what consonants are? If not, quickly go back to the previous lesson to refresh your memory. Here are a few guidelines you'll need to know to be able to read and sound like a native speaker. Rule number 1. The last consonant of most words are not pronounced. The last consonant. For example, the word PAS ends with a consonant S. Hence, the letter S remains silent. Therefore, it is pronounced pa, totally ignoring the S. Pa, not pass. The word TAS would be pronounced ta. Say it again, ta. The word CAS would be pronounced ca. Now, the French language entertains a lot of exceptions. You will encounter this as we proceed further in the study of the French grammar. But do not be dismayed, one step at a time. Regarding this first rule of not pronouncing the last consonant, there are exceptions. The letters C, R, F, L, when found at the end of a word, these letters are pronounced most of the time. You can try to remember them by using the word careful. C, R, F, L. Here are some examples from a native speaker.
Parc, parc. Mal, mal. Part, part. Soif, soif.
Here is the second rule. When a word ends with the letter E, the preceding consonant is voiced. Let's take a look at the word PASSE. It ends with the vowel E, preceded by the consonant S, unlike the first case where S was silent. In this case, the S is voiced because there's an E at the end of the word. Let's look at the following words pronounced by a native speaker.
Passe, passe.
Basse, basse.
Here is the third rule. When a consonant and the letter E come together to form just two letters of a word, the E is pronounced O. For example, the word LE will not be pronounced le, it will be pronounced lo. SE will be pronounced so. NE will be pronounced no. TE will be pronounced to. JE pronounced je. ME pronounced mo. and DE pronounced do. Here's the fourth rule. The combination of the letters U and I is pronounced we. Listen to the following.
suis, suis,
Here is the fifth rule. The combination of the letters O and I is pronounced wa. There isn't a letter that portrays the W sound in the French alphabet. The letter W, as written in the French alphabet, is pronounced like a V, which gives the impression that the word that begins with a supposed W in the French language would be pronounced as a V. For example, water may most likely be pronounced by a French native as vata instead of water. Just like the word wagon in English is pronounced wagon in French. Let's look at the following words pronounced by a native speaker.
soir, soir, boire, boire,
Rule number 6. Double L is pronounced like a voice Y sound. Example, yi. Listen to the following.
famille, famille, la fille, la fille,
Rule number 7. The combination of the letters EAU, AU, EUX are all pronounced like the letter O. Listen to the following.
o, o,
O, O,
oiseau, oiseau,
Rule number 8. A single S in the middle of a word is pronounced as Z. Listen to the following pronunciations.
oiseau, oiseau, maison, maison,
Rule number 9. Double S is pronounced in a soft manner. Listen to the following.
renaissance, renaissance,
Rule number 10. When a word ends with an accented E, the accent being the forward pointing kind, makes the whole word pronounced. Here is an example. PASSE, the E with the forward pointing accent, is pronounced passe. TASSE with an accent is pronounced tasse. And CASSE with the accented E is pronounced casse. The word FIANCE with an accent is pronounced.
fiancé,
Nigerian English speakers often make the mistake of saying fiance instead of fiancé. An engaged to be married man or woman are both called fiancé. It's only written differently with an extra E for the woman. So please stop making the mistake of saying fiance. As it is a borrowed word from the French language, one must obey the rule of pronunciation. At this point, I think I should probably tell you about the French accented vowels. The French vowels can also be accented to differentiate meanings of words and pronunciations. The first accent is the forward pointing accent we just encountered, called the acute accent, and in French, the accent aigu, used only by the letter E. I pronounce it A. Listen to the pronunciation of the following words by a native speaker.
occupé, occupé, salé, salé, poésie, poésie,
The second accent is the backward facing accent called the grave accent or accent grave, used by the letters A, E, U. It has two functions. First, to alter the pronunciation of the letter E, you can pronounce it as E. Listen to the following.
mère, mère, père, père, collège, collège, après, après, trait, trait,
The second function of the grave accent is to distinguish homonyms. These are words that have the same spelling and the same pronunciation but have different meanings. For example, the LA with the accent and the LA without the accent. LA with the accent means there, the LA without the accent, it's a definite article. The A with the accent is the preposition to, and the A without the accent is has, from the verb to have. OU with the accent means where, and then OU without the accent means or. Some words have the acute accent and the grave accent. Do not fret, just pronounce the accent aigu as A and the accent grave as E. Listen to the following pronunciations.
Préfère. Préfère.
Célèbre. Célèbre.
Révèle. Révèle.
The third accent we'll be looking at is the circumflex or le circonflexe. It is sometimes called the hat or le chapeau in French. It crowns the vowels R, A, E, or U. This accent has two purposes. Firstly, it displaces the S from English words and gives it a different sound in the French language. Listen to the following.
La forêt. La forêt. L'hôpital. L'hôpital. Dégoûtant. Dégoûtant.
Secondly, it is used to distinguish between homophones. For example, the word "sue", the first one meaning sure and the next one being the preposition on. The fourth accent, the double dot or diaris, is called le tremor, used by the letters I and E. When two vowels are next to each other and one has the two dots, both vowels are pronounced. For example, Noel. Listen to the following pronunciations.
Ambiguïté. Ambiguïté. Naïf.
Naïve. Maïs. Maïs.
Mosaïque. Mosaïque.
Michael. Michael.
The fifth and final accent to be looking at is the upside down C, as I call it, or la cédille. It is used only by the letter C to soften it from the K sound to the S sound. Listen to the following words.
Commerçant. Commerçant. Déçu. Déçu. Façade. Façade.
Garçon. Garçon.
Reçu. Reçu. Français. Français. Soupçon. Soupçon.
Ça va. Ça va.
Ça va bien, merci. Ça va bien, merci.
With these few guidelines, you're well on your way to perfect pronunciation. The site referenced for this lesson is FrenchLearner.com. And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. Here's your task for this lesson. Do not forget to send your tasks to lvlanguagecenter@gmail.com and you'll be graded for a fee. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Please do not forget to like, share, and click on the subscribe button so you can get notifications of more lessons. Thank you for listening. Until next time.